welcome to everybody out there, and thank you for joining Miss Ing and myself, Miss Rebecca, here with the Shaler North Hills Library for a raw and unedited look at behind the scenes of us.
Who's your first guest?
My first guest today is Miss Ing. Miss Ing?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so glad to be here.
Good.
I'm so glad to be here. Hello, hello.
Hello. Now, Miss Ing joins us from the cave, and we have some gentle questions and some hard-hitting questions to get at who is Miss Ing. And with that, we'll begin if you're comfortable. Are you good?
I feel fairly comfortable.
Are you good? Okay.
I keep scooting up, and
Okay.
we need to stay a safe distance. but
Yes,
I
we
know
are.
I
We
am-
are. You know, we are.
All right.
We're a good
okay.
bit away, and we have these.
I've never really been in front of the
plants.
camera before, so yeah, we do have a nice plant. I have a story about that plant. But, okay. So-
In these plants, I do need to water them today. Okay, let's proceed. Now, Miss Ing, we'll start out with an easy one. Don't you worry.
softball.
Now, Miss Ing, who is someone you look up to, and why?
Would this person be a person who's currently living?
They can be living or not living.
Okay. All right. Someone that I look up to so much. She turned 98 this year. Her name is Olive Tiller, and there's actually a Peace Award named after her and her husband in Canada. She is
Canada.
an American Baptist layperson, but she
What does layperson mean?
like she wasn't a minister or anything like
Okay.
that, like an ordained clergy kind of person or anything. Just this incredible mother, hardworking lady who fought for peace and justice at a time when it was a little more dangerous to fight for peace and justice. She marched in Selma. She was doing her dishes at the kitchen sink and heard about this protest march, and so she took a bus down. She hitchhiked to get on the thing, and she's always like kind of been an example for me of somebody who wasn't afraid to stand up for what she believed was right. And I just think that's really cool when people can give voice to the people who don't have a voice. I think that's important.
That's very important. Now, how did you learn about Olive?
I met Olive.
You met her!
Right, I met her. Like, I totally know her. She's totally awesome. I met Olive when I was serving as associate pastor of a church around here, North Hills Community Baptist Church, and she was a member of the congregation. At the time, her husband, Carl Tiller, who worked he was like a big deal. You can Google him, you know. But he had died, and I was working here at the library part-time, and the man who ran our lab at the time, Ed Alo, he was a widower, and he was just an awesome man, and he was moving out to Sherwood Oaks, and that's where Olive lives. And I said to Olive and Ed, you guys gotta hook up, you guys gotta meet each other. Well, it turns out then after they met, they ended up getting married. And Ed, he's a good Shaler guy. He just passed away here last month, you know. But Ed and Olive had a great life together, you know. They went down that big river in Germany that has a name I can't pronounce and stuff. But it was kind of cool because I feel like I was a matchmaker for Ed and Olive. So that was pretty cool.
Did you know Miss
Yeah.
Ing was a matchmaker?
Yeah, a little matchmaker. I've done that too. Yeah.
That's
So
very
pretty cool.
exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that is very
Yeah,
wonderful.
so that's fun.
Okay, so we are already learning so much. Okay, now, if you had to pick a favorite program that you do, we'll start here, in-house at the library. If you had to pick a favorite program, which would it be and why?
I feel like Elephant Piggy when he groans, when Piggy says he has to wait. Oh, this is so hard because I do love them all and for very different reasons. And when I start to answer that question, you know, then I say, oh, but there's this and there's that. But if I had to pick,
You have to pick. You have to pick.
Okay, if I had to pick
Today, how you
today,
feel?
how do I feel today? It would have to be Mighty Math because it's always a tie between Dance Party and Mighty Math
Okay.
usually. But Mighty Math, I just absolutely love because I did not enjoy math when I was young, and I think it was just because I heard things like girls aren't good at math, or our family just doesn't do math, that kind of thing, and there were math people and there were reading people, but I don't think that's true, because I think if you put googly eyes like on any number, and if you put anything to music, you can make it fun for people who have all kinds of tastes. So googly eyes, music, singing about 5, 5, 5, and things like that, you can love math. Now, granted, I'm not really big into high math. I'm still doing the toddler math, but I'm learning.
Yeah, and you're starting,
Well, and I learned so much from the kids too. There's a young girl, she's in 2nd grade now, Harper, and we were putting up our numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I would say put up 11 fingers, just being a silly fool. And Harper said, Miss Ng, I can put up 11.
Oh,
look at that.
Harper.
Yep.
You learn so much from kids.
Fox Chapel Fox, Harper. Yep, there she is. She's in 2nd grade now.
Okay, so Mighty Math is the favorite these days.
Yeah, today.
Okay, now, how do you pick your music for dance party? What process do you follow? And does it change from time to time? Take us there.
Well, I do like to mix it up sometimes, but it seems as if everybody has a certain favorite. And when I take one out, it's kind of killing the vibe for people. So at one time, dance party was supposed to be just 35 minutes, and then it kind of grew to 40 minutes, and then it kind of grew to 45 minutes. And actually now, when we've been virtual, it was 100. When it was an hour and 15 minutes last time. Because we get a lot of.
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
Was it really only an hour and 15
No, it
minutes?
just was.
Was it more than 15 minutes?
It was an hour and 17 minutes and 39 seconds.
Thank you.
But yeah. And so, because I always like to add things. Interestingly enough, people might think that some of the more music that's on there for an older crowd was picked by adults or grandparents, super special grown-ups. But no, YMCA was chosen by a young man of age 4, I believe. Copacabana was also chosen by, at the time, a preschooler. She's now in 1st grade. Mamma Mia was a request from a child too. So we get all different kinds of things. You and I did pick I Will Survive and I'm Coming Out, but we throw in sometimes there. So and I have to say, like, I love the children's song as much as the kids, but that's how I do. I try to have a balance of special requests and what gets us dancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, have you noticed in your dance party career that any one song consistently gets the dancers dancing?
Well, I would say that it depends kind of what movie is big at the time, because Happy, when the Minions thing was out, that was always the bright one, that was just like, that's your jam, and it would make everyone dance. The Madagascar, I like to move it with those questionable lyrics. That one was from that Madagascar, so that would get people moving. And the Justin Timberlake, which I know you're not a big fan of, but from the movie Trolls, that one is a big one. Zing With the Strings of My Heart.
No,
not so
never.
much.
When we mentioned Justin Timberlake, friends, let's take a moment and really think about the awesomeness of Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, we've thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I'm going to save my controversial question for the end.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, who is Miss Ng? Who is the person behind the programs? What is something about yourself that you think the super special grown-ups and the tiny little humans and the middle-sized humans, age-wise, not size-wise, what do you think they'd be surprised to know about you?
Well, here's something that I would hope people would know. This was the highest compliment that we ever received as a staff. It was when I was working in the South. I worked down South for a while. Sometimes you hear my Southern accent. I worked in Bethel Park for about 8 years. And there was a woman, her name's Beth, and she would come in with her little daughters, and she came in for many years. and bring her kids to the programs. And then we eventually, when her kids went to school, she applied for a job and she started working with us. And after she was there about 3 months, she said, you know, us moms, we always wondered, are you guys really like this? Like really as excited and happy to see people as you seem to be? And she said, and now I know it's all true. And that was just a high compliment because this woman got to see from patron side and then from staff side. And so I would hope that you would know that the person that you see dancing around and being happy to see you and getting choked up and all that jazz is really me. So I would hope that you get to see that about all of us though, because everybody here, it's the exact same way. Like we talk about you all the time, and we text at like 1 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the morning about things that we can try to do to serve the people. So that's minded people here at this library. Very, very thankful. Yeah.
What is the last audiobook you listened to?
The last audiobook that I finished was John Sanford's whatever is in the Prey series, the last one, the Lucas Davenport. It came out on last Tuesday, and I listened to it in about a week. It was awesome, and so I finished that, and then I was in a slump. I was starting, stopping, and then now I'm listening to the latest Sarah Czar, which just came out like a couple weeks ago too, and that's really good too. So yeah.
And that is young adult.
That one's young adult, and John Sanford's adult.
And what is the last children's audio you finished?
The last children's audio book I finished was Stand Up Yumi. Stand Up Yumi Sung. And it's really cool. It's about this young girl who really wants to be a stand-up comedian. She's in 7th grade. And, you know, I do stand-up comedy, not very well. But
She does very
this
well.
young woman, this young girl wants to be a stand-up comedian so bad. And it's a neat little story, but it's Stand Up Yumi Sung, I think. So, yeah, that was good too. Yeah.
Okay.
I finished that a couple weeks ago.
And what is the last thing you ate?
The last thing I ate, it was Giant Eagle steam in a bag, 10 ounces of vegetables, a mix of cauliflower, carrots, and broccoli.
Carrots.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I
Broccoli.
ate that at 3:30 this morning. I couldn't sleep, but I was hungry, and my cat woke me up, and I love her. So, yeah.
Now, broccoli.
Yeah.
Do you like the treetop or do you like the trunk? Are you a trunk or a treetop?
Well, I'm not very good at preparing my own food, so I do get everything that's always in a bag. So whatever it is, I just eat it. So I'll eat both. With
So you have no preference of a broccoli treetop or a trunk?
I would say maybe the trunk, because the treetop, my teeth are pretty crooked, and there's often like green.
It gets
things that
all
are
up
sticking.
in there if you eat the treetop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, but I'm a trunk guy too.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
That's a good
now,
question.
here.
It's the controversial one.
Now,
Okay.
I know in our current world, there's a lot of polarization out there, and I certainly don't want to highlight that any more than need be. But
But you're going to. Well, this is
people
a
need
little
to
less
know.
lighthearted than I thought.
People
Okay.
need to know.
Alright.
And I need,
And I would. I mean, I just talked about Olive Tiller giving voice to the voiceless. So.
oh, and I need your honesty.
Lay it on. All right.
Okay?
Okay.
I want you to look at these pictures,
Okay.
and I want you to tell me how you feel about them.
All right. Okay.
And you may want to walk up and show them.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so I have to comment
Yeah, I
like
mean,
how I feel in general about these.
I mean,
And these are out in front of people's houses now.
you know, they could be that and more, and I just feel like you need to take a stand, and where do you fall
Well,
on goose lawn ornaments?
if I would see these goose lawn ornaments, especially in this day and age, I would think that these people are much braver than I am, and I would give all props to these goose ornament people.
Okay,
I
so
say express your goosishness.
So
Yes.
you
Yes,
you
I'm
are
going
on board with
I'm-
lawn geese.
I'm well, for this time. I wouldn't normally be. I'm certainly more pro geese than pink flamingo. My mother really raised me being anti-pink flamingo. So,
Well, I guess now we know where we stand with Miss Ing and her thoughts on goose lawn ornaments.
I gotta be mean.
So, Miss Ing, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much.
you.
And before we finish
Yes.
with your interview, is there
Yes.
anything you'd like to add?
I would just like to sing a little song because a lot of people ask if I would sing a little song. They asked
Who
if
did?
a lot of people. And so I would just like to sing a little song that I wrote about a woman who I worked here when I was in high school. Okay, and my job was watering this plant actually.
Oh my
I know.
gosh!
It was 1986 when I started here, and I left, and then I came back. But I would always forget to water the plant. So Mrs. Mitnick, she was the head children's librarian. She nicknamed it Thirsty because it was always thirsty. But I worked every Monday night with Mrs. Sawyer, who still
Mrs.
works here today,
Sawyer!
and we both are still here. And so I wrote a song about Mrs. Sawyer, and I'd like to share it with you.
Take it away, please.
Mrs. Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer. Come on, everybody. Mrs. Sawyer, come on. Mrs. Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer.
Mrs. Sawyer. Okay, thank
So,
you.
thank you.
Thirsty! Which I need to water the plants
Yeah, we won't make it
today. I do every week. I remember.
I know you do. You do.
But sometimes it's at the last minute. Except for that one in the bottle. I don't understand.
And now we're going to change chairs. And I am going to be the interviewer. Now, I really like to prepare. I'm not an off-the-cuff kind of person.
No!
So what I did was I went to the Librarian's Resource Center.
Oh!
Yeah, it's called Goggle, I think. So I went to Goggle, and I goggled best questions to ask in an interview.
Oh.
And they gave examples. They had like good questions, but then, and so there'd be like a wording, and then they reworded them for you that would say outstanding questions.
Oh!
So these are the outstanding questions examples that I found on several sites.
Okay.
All right, so here's the first one. Miss Rebecca.
Yes.
And Miss Rebecca is a wonderful librarian. We like to say we stole her from the Swickley Public Library, but I do love Swickley. It's a great place.
I was thrilled to be.
So glad, yeah.
Oh, it is wonderful.
All right, so this is listed as one of the example of a great reworded question. Okay, Rebecca,
Yes.
why does this matter to a listener in Topeka who wonders how this is relevant to her life?
What?
All right, that wasn't a good one.
That
was a good one. They said that was a good one. That was one of the
It
examples.
wasn't.
How about this?
Topeka! Is that the capital of Kansas?
It is! Oh my gosh!
It's Milan.
There you go. All right. Okay. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh.
And what is your profession right now?
Youth services librarian.
All right.
I really love my profession, and I don't think there is another profession I'd like to attempt. I mean, if it were like a dream world, I think I'd want to play an instrument. When I was younger, I played clarinet, and I quit because I thought I was too cool to play clarinet, and I wish I would have stuck with it. I wish I could play the clarinet, and I wish I could play the piano, and yeah. I don't know that I'd want to make a profession out of it, but I mean, I guess if you were fortunate enough to do so.
Right. All right, cool. That's neat.
I
didn't know
could-
you were
I
musically
could be.
inclined.
Well,
I mean, I
I
know
don't
you
know
can
that I
sing.
actually
Yeah.
am,
That's cool.
but I just think it is an amazing talent and work, to be able to play an instrument.
In which grade did you stop playing?
6th grade.
When you were at Neil Armstrong.
No, there wasn't Neil Armstrong.
you were
I was
still
at
in Winnipeg.
IMS.
Oh, you were at IMS.
Independent Middle School.
Mhm.
I was born and bred
She's
in
from the South too. She's from
Bethel
Bethel Park
Park.
too. Yeah.
I lived there almost 3 decades.
Yeah. She's very southern.
Very
I just
southern.
went from the South.
Not that.
So, did your family play instruments? Is your family musical?
My mom could play the piano, but not like extensively. We had a piano at home. I can still play "O Come All Ye Faithful" with one hand.
Well, that's
And my-
even better if it only takes one hand. My gosh.
My grandma made me out of a paper bag that you put a lunch in, a little thing to tuck behind the ivories that said what keys they were.
Dude, that's so nice.
It was really neat.
That's
So
so
I wish I
cool.
would have followed through with
Stay
that.
with it. It's never too late. Never too late.
And I really like to read them.
Let me pick. You do like it. So this is the.
I read
profession.
it. I am an aggressive reader.
She really is. She's always reading something. It's great. It's pretty cool. You should be a librarian.
It's true.
Okay, so I'll try another one of these recommended questions.
I don't know
Okay?
about this.
All right. You said that while researching your book, you came across a statistic that stopped you dead in your tracks. What was that?
I feel like this is also a not good question.
It was on that
I
list.
don't think Goggle worked well
Goggle
for you.
did not. Oh, how about this one?
Hmm.
Tell me something, Miss Rebecca, that you know is true, but everybody else seems to disagree with you. Something that you just know, but yet when you say it, people are like, what? And they're totally wrong.
What do I know that other people don't know?
I mean, an opinion that you have that you know is absolutely right, but other people don't seem to see it that way.
Well, one that comes to mind, being in the library, is I heard, unbeknownst to me, there was some sort of ridiculous controversy between who Hermione should end up with. Would it be Ron? Yes. Or Harry? No. I had no idea this was a controversy because it just isn't.
It was just so.
I mean, it's so, like, wait, what? It doesn't even make sense.
And you also kind of felt. I remember when Angela Merkel and Prince got married. You were kind of
That didn't happen.
Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle and
Oh my
Prince
gosh!
Harry.
Meghan
That's
Markle and Prince Harry?
Right.
Who doesn't love Meghan Markle and Prince Harry?
So she knows she's on Team Meghan, but there may be some people who are on the
There is no other team. It's
Merkel.
it is Meghan and Harry. I watched the wedding. I cried. How can you not like her or him?
And so if you
I'm
disagree,
so happy for
that's-
him.
yeah.
They talk openly about mental health. Yay!
It's true.
They got out of a situation they were comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
It gets me a little riled up. I do not get as riled
Rebecca has
up
passion.
about very important matters, as you can see. And if you were wondering who I know Hermione should end up with, it is Ron.
Oh.
How could it ever be Harry? I mean,
I don't really.
it can't. That's like
I'm kind of.
that's like the question of,
I believe.
you know, who would you want to take the ring? Would you want Sam with you, or would you want Frodo with you? Sam.
All right. Well. All right. I'm gonna try another goggle one. Okay. How are climate scientists in Alaska reacting to your latest data?
Well, that question doesn't make any sense, but at the mention of science, science is very important.
Yeah, we're coming up with new experiments, but we really want quality ones. So we're not just throwing this out there willy nilly.
No, not.
Like polymers.
Oh my gosh, that was a real thing.
That was a real thing.
It was. Google it
Goggle.
with a grown-up.
All right, here's a real question.
What would a kid do?
Here's another. Kitchen, car, or bathroom? Which do you clean first?
Oh my gosh, kitchen.
Okay. See, this is another thing that she knows that other people might disagree. You'd rather, because for me,
I feel like this may be a trend that when I answer a question, it's like, well, that's Rebecca's firm opinion.
She's not
Kitchen.
wishy-washy, not a milk toast.
Kitchen. Well, I, you know, we addressed earlier that I am an aggressive reader, and sometimes cleanliness will suffer because
My mother always used to say, a clean house shows a misspent life. And her mother always said that. So.
I think that is perfect.
Yeah.
That being said, I have no qualms about cleaning a bathroom.
Right.
I mean, a car doesn't get dirty. I don't keep stuff in my car. Some people keep a ridiculous amount of items in their car. Right now I have a mask, gloves, hand sanitizer, Hamilton CD, and the audiobook I'm listening to. Oh, yeah.
And
And a box.
Empty?
Yeah, it's like the base of a box from Costco in the trunk that you can put like groceries in so they don't slide around. They still slide around unless it's packed.
Nothing slides around in my car. Just
No, because there's so much stuff
it's
in
stuck
it.
together with gum. It's crazy.
It might be.
All right. What about this? So, you're a vegan baking specialist.
That's
Is it
not
really
true.
hard to bake without eggs?
That's not true. This is another not good question.
How about this? Who is your role model and why?
I don't know.
Say our director.
I don't know if I have one.
Say our director.
I don't know if I have one. Do I have one?
Do you have one? We're discovering. You know what this is? Science.
Social science.
Social science. It is so, oh my gosh, that was good.
But you know, now I'm questioning
Virtual high five.
now I'm questioning myself. Is my character, I mean, I'm sure my character is flawed in many ways, but is it flawed in that I don't have a role model? I don't know if I have a role model.
That's all right.
I mean, there's a lot of people that I like
Take bits and
highly
pieces from maybe.
respect and love and like look up to. Michelle Obama just popped into my head.
Yeah.
Just what a strong, brave, honest, open,
Smart.
so smart,
Yeah.
emotionally and intelligently.
Like emotional intelligence and intellectual intelligence.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she's just
She's probably really good at geography too.
maybe.
Yeah.
So she's stunning, but I don't know that
Like she's your role model.
I've never thought about a role model.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
All right, the final question. Now this was on like 5 of the Goggle sites, okay? They said, you gotta ask this question. You gotta ask this. Can you give me an example?
Of?
They didn't.
Did you open up the
They
link to
didn't
see the whole question? Ingrid!
But the question that I have for you is,
Yes.
if you are such a voracious reader, I've never actually spoken that word, so I'm not sure if I'm using it correctly or even pronouncing it correctly. But if you just had to pick the best book ever that you could recommend to a grade school kid, like one book that would turn maybe like a reluctant reader into like a reader, like one that
When you
just
say
did
grade
it for you.
school, do you mean like
Like
in
middle
the
grade, you know
district?
what I'm saying?
Like the
anything-
elementary school?
Right. Like, and what book it was that, like, sucked you in right away, or author.
Oh boy, for a reluctant reader.
Well, I mean, like, were you ever a reluctant reader and then you found one
I've
book and it turned you on?
never been a reluctant reader.
Oh my gosh.
I have been a reader since I could read.
That's so cool! Alright, let me change the question.
Thanks, Mummy.
Let me change. Miss Nancy, down south. Alright, change the question. I'll change the question then. If you could live in one book for a week, which book would it be?
Oh. The answer to your first question, though, is I would one and only Ivan, the Wild
that's
Robot.
the sequel's coming out this week, I think.
I think it's out.
Is it out
I think
today?
it was out
today.
today.
Yeah.
The one and only Bob.
Yeah.
Remember Bob the dog?
Yeah.
And I think a movie is coming out in August, but maybe not. They're not sure. So that's what I would do, and I think those are nice for anybody. And now I forget the second
If you could live in one book
Oh,
for a week.
it depends on my mood. You can't just pick.
What about right now, like in the pandemonium?
Oh, wow. I feel like right now, maybe I would live in, gosh, I don't know. Do I want, I guess too, then you'd have to say, am I dropping into just the world or a particular scene? Like I'd love to live at Hogwarts for a little bit, but not
Right.
you know, when
right,
the Death Eaters come and stuff.
Yeah. What about you, friends? In what scene or book would you like to live for a week? I think I'd want that chocolate room in Willy Wonka.
Yeah, but you'd get bugs.
Was that in the bug?
Well, no, but if you lived in a chocolate room, you just think you'd get bugs.
Well, it
you have
wasn't really
food
like a
out.
chocolate room, I don't think. I mean, at least not in the movie, anyway.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I have trouble answering abstract questions because
Can
my
you give me
brain
some
does not
examples?
work that way. Of what? Examples of places I'd live in a book.
Well, how does that matter to a listener in Topeka who wonders how this is relevant to her life?
Well, she just turned the radio off because it isn't.
You vegan baking specialist?
And then it's are you asking about the setting or the atmosphere of the story?
Right.
See,
right.
ask me about Harry and
That was a
Meghan.
bad question.
I can't think
Yes,
that way.
Harry and Meghan, Angela Merkel and Prince got married.
I really like Harry and Meghan.
She does. But she likes you more.
That's true.
And Miss Rebecca, will you come back to us later on this week? Because we have more fun things. Think about that. And tell us
Definitely.
what place you'd like to have a world.
Yeah, what world would you like to visit right now? Just imaginary, just to pop in.
I know, I'm just looking around all the books here and thinking, oh, some of these would be really cool places. And
Yep.
some would not.
Maybe Mary Poppins. Original Mary Poppins. Or, if I could pop in to Hamilton, not the real one, the musical, and just watch it over and over and over again, I could totally do that. Which doesn't count.
Or like pop into a book and change the outcome.
Oh. She's getting too wild.
Thank you for watching us.
Thank you. Have a good day. Remember, you can still send in Stump a Librarian
Yes,
questions.
Simple Librarian.
Whatever wacky question you can think of. Bye.
Behind the scenes, behind the scenes.